So here is the doc training scenario we will go through. So this is an automated training workflow that will start when the document is published after review and approval. And Q generates a training form with AI generated questions based on the document content. The training form has to be approved first by the document responsible, and then the form has to be answered by each recipient. And Q verifies and asks incorrect answers again. Recipients can ask the document responsible to verify answers if needed. And once successfully accomplished, Q set the training as completed. A second workflow starts afterward for recipients to acknowledge that they have read and understood the document. So let's switch over to our document preparation module in our QMS software. This module is restricted to authorized persons like authors or document responsible. And as an author, this is the place to prepare documents, to import and prepare documents and view documents here in the viewer. But it's also the place to go in the properties, document properties, so that you can set any attributes with the document, like the related process or the related document type. But most important for today is the workflow part. So this is the place where you can set who should be the document responsible to verify these training forms. So I have set myself to be the responsible here. And we have also flexibility in selecting which workflow we want to go through. We will select here a distribution workflow for this webinar to avoid any review and approval and to focus on the training part. Also, I will set myself to be the recipient here to read and understand about this document and to answer the training form. Of course, you could select many users here or group of users. And finally, I will now start the workflow. This will trigger our GenAI workflow to be started behind the scene. So the Power Automate's part, the workflow part, really is transparent for end users. And if we just go in there a few seconds to explain what happens. So this is highly configurable. Power Automate is really the workflow automation part. And here it will check for the document content, verify that any content exists. And then this workflow will ask generative AI to create questions based on the content. And will take all of these questions and create a training form here that will be published in a few seconds in my Teams channel. And each recipient will also get this in their Teams channel. Finally, this workflow continues and will create a training receipt for each recipient. In the second part, we will of course make sure that this training form has to be answered by each recipient and verify that questions are correctly answered. So you see here that I have got a notification here as a document responsible person to approve these questions that have been now generated by AI. And I can go through these questions and I can possibly approve the questions as is, or I can possibly change these questions and maybe add my own questions here. What is the responsibility of top management for the AI management system? You can even have some typos. I think that's not a problem. AI will understand about this. So all these 5 questions, you could have more than 5 questions. In this example, we just have 5 questions. So now that questions have been approved, workflow continues to send the form to all recipients. So just by combining workflow automation with AI, we can solve unlimited number of use cases like this training use case here, but we can do much more. And Power Automate is highly configurable with no coding needed. While the workflow is running, you're also certainly aware that ISO 42001 has been released for a responsible AI management system. and also European Union has published an AI Act. So it's good practice to have humans supervising important AI decisions. So that's also the reason why we have implemented in our workflow that humans, like the document responsible person here, can supervise AI decisions. Meanwhile, I got now as a recipient in the distribution list this training form to be answered, and I can open the related AI management procedure here. And I can verify the content of this. I can start reading this procedure prior answering the questions. You can see also that these questions are visible here in the right panel. And what is the responsibility of top management for this AIMS? I can, of course, type my answers, but I can also take a look at the related section over here and copy and paste for the purpose of this webinar here to win some time. What does AI management procedure identify as key aspects under leadership commitments? Then I can take a look at the leadership commitment section here. I guess we will select this and we will check whether it's correct or not. How does the AI management procedure suggest mitigating information searching risks? I have here different use cases that we have seen with Justin before, and I will also copy and paste this section. What are some of the operational planning objectives mentioned in the procedure? So here in the operational planning, objectives might be these here. And finally, the last question, I will write an incorrect answer so we can go to a second iteration. I will put here the age of the captain, which is probably not the right answer, and I will submit my answers here. Yeah, so this is a 100% live process, right? So it's we cannot know in advance the questions that Gen AI will generate. So now you see that I got this reduced form because I had 2 wrong answers. What is interesting is that Gen AI now is suggesting the right path for the right answers. So for this question, what are some of the operational planning objectives mentioned for AI in the procedure? The answer should include specific objectives related to operational planning for AI, such as, and so on. So I can open my document again. I can try to locate what is the best answer to this and let AI verify again. I can also ask the document responsible to approve or reject my answers. So for operational planning here, I will take the whole package, the whole section, and according to performance evaluation, who is responsible for monitoring the AI performance, then the client is responsible to verify that the AI service is running correctly in their clouds. And I will not submit and let AI decide and verify, but I will click the need help button to ask the document responsible to verify these answers for me. So now as a document responsible, I get these, I have to review the answers of Boris, and I can check here his answer, and I can select that it is correct or maybe not. Again, this is required to comply with typical ISO 42001 or AI Act regulations where humans can supervise Gen AI, important Gen AI decisions. So now I'm prompted that this document training has been completed, at least the first part of it. The last or the second step is now for each recipient to acknowledge that the document was read and understood. And this is required as an audit trail and possibly also for reporting reasons. So I should get a notification in a few seconds. But meanwhile, as a conclusion, the whole document training process is automated with no manual work. So Gen AI will save your organization hours of manual work for each document version each year. In addition, you will develop company skills at an unprecedented level, boosting the company performance. Maybe also regarding ISO 42001, it's aligned on ISO 9001. So, and it's based on principles for continuous improvement. So a joint certification process is possible. The good news is you can use our QMS software for all modules to manage your AI assets and risks to comply with ISO 42001. Now I got this notification here that I have to proofread my AI training for AI management procedure here. I got these approvals in Teams or in Outlook, where I can open my AI documents and check it. That's the document I just got trained on. And I can finally write a comment and click that I have read and understood this document. This will close the document training process. And if I take a look now at my AI management procedure here, I have all consolidated information about all recipients that have completed the training with the questions that have been asked, the answers that have been given, and also the read and understood notification here as audit trail. So everything is tracked in the software.